Greetings, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is Jesse, the Marketing Director at FAE Business Systems Group. So excited that you took some time out of your day to sit with us on our super awesome webinar we've got going today. We are talking about how to be successful with sugar. And we call these our CRM Euphoria webinars. Presenting for us today is Caleb Daig. He is our account executive. He's based on the East Coast out near Philly, and we're really excited to have him taking us through today's presentation as well. If there are any questions today throughout today's presentation, you have the ability to pop them in the chat box, and I'll monitor those and we'll bring them up throughout or at the end. And if we don't have time to answer all the questions in the presentation, we'll absolutely get you those questions answered over email or give you a call after the event. So don't be shy. We're happy to answer anything. So with that, Caleb, thanks again for joining us, and I'm going to pass the ball over to you.
Great, thanks Jesse, and thanks everyone for joining today's webinar. As Jesse said, my name is Caleb Daig, and I'm an account executive here with FAE Business Systems Group. I'm located just outside of Philadelphia. I've been working with FAE for about four years now. So for today's webinar, just a quick agenda. We went over the introductions already. I'll go over a quick 2 slides on FAE Business Systems Group, why we think we have the right to speak with you today and put on a webinar like this. And then I changed up kind of the theme for today's webinar a little bit. So instead of how to be successful with sugar, it was more of how to get more out of sugar. I noticed that a lot of the attendees that are on today's webinar are already using sugar, and maybe have been using it for a couple years. So thought about changing it up a little bit more, talking about how you can get more out of sugar, get more ROI for your investment in sugar. Okay, so some background on FAE Business Systems Group. So we have over 25+ years of experience, over 400 clients today. We are a Sugar CRM Elite Partner, which is the highest regard of a Sugar CRM partner. Sugar is the only CRM that we work with and that we support. As of about 8 years ago, we worked with a lot of different CRMs, but decided to drop all of them and just work with Sugar because we like the direction the company is going, how easy it is to work with, and how you can do anything with it. All of our programming and support team is located here in the U.S. Our headquarters is in Southern California, outside of LA, but we do have offices across the country in Austin, Atlanta, and I'm just outside of Philadelphia. So our main focus is building a business around Sugar CRM, but there are other sides to our business. We also work with different accounting systems, ERP systems, marketing automation, project management, custom solutions, and we've focused on a lot of these different add-ons and different products just to provide our clients with additional options when they're looking for options outside of sugar for different programs that they might need. So there's a quick slide on us, and then here's just a quick slide on a background of FAE and how we've kind of built a business around sugar. So all of these different logos around the outside here are all of the different integrations or products that we have that incorporate sugar into it. So we are a Sage 100 partner, so we have an integration for that. QuickBooks for accounting is a very popular integration amongst the sugar ecosystem. Box and Dropbox for cloud storage make it very easy to store documents directly within sugar. There's a Jira integration for project management. We've recently released a sugar messaging app, which I'll actually get into on today's webinar, where you can actually send text messages directly out of sugar. We've also enhanced the Sugar mobile app. So we took the Sugar mobile app that comes out of the box with the licenses of sugar, and we've added some geo mapping functionality and check-in features and a calendar to it. Okay. If anyone has any questions on any of these integrations, any of these products, we'd be more than happy to take them offline. Okay. So getting into the meat of the webinar today was how to be successful with sugar, which at the last moment I changed to how to get more out of sugar. So we have a lot of clients here at Fay BSG, probably, like I said, over 400 clients. Very typical that I see a lot of the clients that I work with that do an implementation of sugar. They get sugar to a place where their users are using it every day and they like it, but that's really where they stop. So they're okay with the status quo. They're okay with not improving on the system or adding any more features to it to get more out of it. Sugar is a very robust platform. There is so much that you can do with it without any coding or development background. You can create your own modules and build onto it. There's the open API where you can integrate sugar into any other system that you might have. So there is always room for continuous improvement to get more out of it. So I wanted to go over a couple tips that I have for just helping you to get more out of CRM, out of sugar. And then also just go into some products and features of sugar that maybe you're not really familiar with that could potentially be of interest to you to help you really get more out of it. Okay. So as far as just tips on how to get more out of sugar, it's pretty common for there to be a couple admins of a CRM. I would really urge you to meet with your CRM admin team monthly. Set up a monthly call, just talk about how things are going with the CRM, what reports you're getting out of it, any of the feedback that you got from any of the users or any of the executive team. Meeting once a month for an hour or two just to talk about those things and talk about the CRM can go a very long way. Number two, ask for feedback from your users. So, this is the biggest piece here. Obviously, the users of sugar are using it every day. They know the ins and outs of the system. They know where things take longer than usual to do, whether it's data entry or it's updating something within the CRM, or there's useless fields that are required that they have to get by. Getting that feedback from your users is really paramount in getting them to really adopt the system and continue to use it so you're getting more out of it. One of the things that sometimes we like to ask our clients here is if you could wave a magic wand and the CRM could do anything that you want, what would you want the CRM to do? So those are maybe some questions that you could pose to your users of CRM just so that you can get them thinking, get their feedback on some things that you could add to it or change to it just to make it a better experience for them. Also, there's probably tons of things that you could automate within Sugar just to make it easier to use for those users. So again, just asking the users, what could we automate, is another just question that you could get a lot of return on. Number three here was to get other departments involved. As I mentioned before, Sugar is such a robust system and there are many use cases for it. It's commonly known to be used for support, marketing, and of course for sales. But there are so many other use cases that you could use it for building out projects within Sugar, integrating it into the accounting system so your sales reps don't have to reach out to accounting every time to check on an invoice. So I just urge you to speak to other departments, show them what you're doing within Sugar. Maybe there's room for them to take advantage of it, add some licenses, and then bring a lot of the things that your company is doing into one single source of truth within Sugar CRM. It's possible that some of these other departments are using spreadsheets to manage maybe projects or issues or tickets with your internal clients, when that's something in turn that you could effectively use Sugar CRM on, and you could again report on that, track the metrics, and continue to improve on things like that. Lastly, had to add this in here, so talk with your Sugar partner. So there's some great Sugar partners out there that would really be interested in speaking with you to get more out of Sugar, so that you can see the return on investment, so you add users, so it gets more ingrained in your company, so you continue to use it and you continue to renew your licenses every year. So those are just, again, some quick tips on how to get more out of sugar. Then I have just a couple of things here, about 7 items that I was going to jump into a live demo just to show you. Some of these things, some people on the call might be familiar with, but haven't really dived in or saw a demo of them yet. Other things are just real simple things that could, again, just help you get more out of it and expand the use of sugar. So I'm going to show just a quick calculated field on how you can track the days since last activity. So if you think about CRM, obviously customer relationship management, so it's meant to stay in touch with your clients, make sure that they're happy. So keeping in touch with them every 30 days or every 45 days is very important. So just adding a quick custom field, calculated field to track the days since you last spoke to someone could go a long way in just making sure that you are staying on top of your clients and keeping a good relationship with them. Accounting and ERP integrations, here at Fay, we have a couple popular ones like Sage, QuickBooks, NetSuite, Intact. And really it's meant to just get more accounting data, ERP data, such as sales history, product sales history, invoice history, inside of the CRM so that sales and support and marketing really get a full picture and a 360-degree view of your clients, instead of the salesperson having to send an email to accounting to ask if an invoice was paid. And there's tons of use cases around that we'll definitely touch on. A consolidated activities report. So I'll show this to you. As you know, Sugar has a couple of activity type modules to track calls and meetings and emails, but you can't report on them all at once. So I'm going to show you a consolidated activities report so you can track them all in one report. I will touch on advanced workflow, so automating any of the manual processes that you might be doing today. The customer journey plugin, Hint as well with some new features that were just added, and texting within Sugar. So texting is becoming more prevalent in business. So sometimes people are not responding to emails very quickly, so sending them a quick text as a reminder or sending automated text messages out can be very helpful, and that's something that we can do within Sugar with a plugin that we have. Okay, so these are 7 items. I'll probably just come back to this list as I go through the demo just to check in so I make sure that I'm following these in order. But first, just days of last activity. So as I talked about, this is very simple, but again, it keeps you on top of your clients, and it makes you keep the relationship tight. Excuse me. So really all that I did is I brought up a contact record here, and I created 2 fields. The date of last call, which is basically just pulling from this calls module down here, and it is pulling 1/25/2019 as the last call. So it's pulling it into that field. And then the days since last call, -33 days, is just telling me that it has been 33 days since the last time that I called Barbara. Okay, so what you can do with these fields then is you can make home screen dashboards so that whenever you log into Sugar, you are provided with a dashboard that shows you a list of all the contacts that you have not called within the last 30 days. So then you can click on the filter here and you can see that, we haven't called Janice in 167 days. It's probably time to reach out to her to reset that clock. So we're staying in touch with our clients. Okay, so something really simple like that, again, can definitely allow you to stay on top of your clients and keep that good relationship with them. Right. The next item was just integrating Sugar into an ERP system or an accounting system. Majority of ERP and accounting integrations are all pretty similar, so they match up your accounts between the 2 systems. It matches up the product sales history, invoice history, so that users within the CRM can see all of that data directly in the CRM from the accounting system. So this is an instance here that we have hooked up to actually Sage 100. So again, all of that, all those details as far as product sales history, invoice history, year-to-date sales, last year sales, all of that is put into custom modules within Sugar, and so we can pull reports on it and show dashboards. So all of that data from the accounting system can be available within Sugar on a home screen dashboard. So you can see things like the sales gap from last year to this year, sales by item, top customer sales, top AR balances, sales by quantity, by item. Okay, so real quick dashboards you could see on your home screen, and then you can actually open up an account and you can see even more. So you can see a tab here for financial data where you're seeing what their credit limit is, if they're on a credit hold, what their last year's sales was opposed to this year's sales year to date. You could scroll down and see some additional sub-panels for your invoice history, for all open invoices, if they've been paid or not paid, your staged sales history. Okay, you can click into this invoice history and you can see the actual invoice and what was included within that invoice because we're syncing all the fields from the accounting system. You can see the individual invoice line items. You can see the tracking number from UPS or FedEx. So all of that can be available within the CRM so that sales reps do not have to go outside of the system and find that data and look for it or email someone in accounting to get it for them. Tons of use cases for this. Of course, it keeps the 360-degree view within Sugar under each account. You could run workflows off of this data as well to remind someone if an invoice has not been paid, to create a task for a user to follow up with them, or you could send emails out to your clients within the Sugar workflow if they have not paid an invoice or if they're on a credit hold or if they have an open balance. So a lot that you can do with these ERP and accounting integrations. Of course, accounting and ERP is just one other system that a company might use, and we've done tons of other integrations with phone systems and project management systems, marketing automation systems. So really incorporating those other systems that you might have into the CRM, again, to make it just one single source of truth can really go a long way. Right. The next item was the custom activities report. So like I said, there are a couple modules within Sugar where you can track activities, but Sugar does not have one overall activity reporting module. So we do have a custom activities report here. If you can see it on your dashlet, this is just going to show you all the calls and meetings and tasks that were logged each day by each specific user under each account. But then there also is this report here as well, which can actually group sales reps together. It can show you how many calls that they've made, how many emails that they've logged within a specific time period. You can scroll down just as you do within regular Sugar reporting. You can see all of those users grouped together, the types of calls or meetings or emails that they're making, statuses of them, dates. And there are tons of filter options over here on the right where you can filter on dates. You can show different things within the column. You can select meeting statuses, so I only want to show those that are complete or those that are scheduled, call statuses, email statuses. And so this is a consolidated activities report, just brings everything together into one report so you can see it all just on one screen instead of looking at different reports and comparing them. Okay. Next was the workflow. So the advanced workflow called Process Definitions is included in the Enterprise Edition of Sugar. What this does is it allows you to map out on this whiteboard different processes that you might be doing manually today, and it automates them. Here is a very basic example of the workflow. Basically, there's logic behind every step within this workflow, and you can drag and drop different actions onto your screen, and you can connect them. So very intuitive here, very user-friendly. This workflow here is an approval workflow. So it's basically saying that if a sales rep has generated a quote within Sugar and the discount is over $5,000, we're going to send an approve and reject notification to a sales manager. If the sales manager accepts it, it's going to send an email to the sales rep to let them know. If they reject it, we're just going to end this process. Okay, so as I create a quote and as that discount's over $5,000, Sugar then has this process dashlet that you could show on your home screen, where those that are in the authority to accept or reject these approvals, they would see this right on their dashboard. So here is actually one of the quotes that had a discount for over $5,000 on it. You can set due dates on this. So I set this earlier today, and there's only 34 minutes left to act on it. If I click on that quote, it's going to open up that quote. And really from this page, I would just have to accept or reject this quote. Okay. This is just one use case for the advanced workflow within Sugar. There are other examples here, such as the lead routing process, where you can automate how leads are getting assigned out to your users. So in this case, we're assigning leads out based on the region that they're in. And in this case, if you're following along here with my mouse, if they're in the New York, they're in the Northeast region, you would send an email out to that sales rep, and then you can set up a timer here so that this sales rep has to reach out to that lead. And if they have not, then we're going to send an email to a supervisor. Again, there's logic behind every step here, so we can right-click on every action, and we can set this to a certain amount of minutes, hours, days. You can do it based on a fixed date as well, which works very well for contract renewals, where you can send emails out or create tasks maybe 90, 60, and 30 days before a renewal. Okay. So that's, again, the advanced workflow within Sugar. Tons of use cases for this. Could be used for, the invoice history data within Sugar from the accounting system. You can notify groups of users or teams within Sugar when an opportunity goes to closed won, maybe for your operations team to get ready for a new project. You could use it on the cases module within Sugar for support. So you can make sure that you get those cases completed in a timely manner to keep your clients happy. So happy to discuss more use cases for this if you'd like. Okay. Next, going along here pretty quick. I know we scheduled about 30 minutes. I'm just trying to get it in before 2:30. Next was the Customer Journey plugin. So the Customer Journey plugin basically visually allows you to map out a process that you might be doing today that might have a lot of individual steps within it that you have to complete to maybe move that process to the next step. Again, tons of use cases for this that you could use on every module within Sugar. This specific use case that I have here is just the implementation for maybe a new client. So I'm in the opportunities module right now. We closed the deal for 50 new robots. Now it's time to do a client implementation for those robots. So we visually have 3 different steps that we have to follow through with here to complete this. So we have the kickoff, we've gathered requirements, we'd intro the customer, we set up the hosting, we input the inventory, and as you check these off the list, you can set up timers here as well. So now 1 day later, I have to complete the input inventory. You can make this a week later or 2 weeks later or a month later. Okay, and as you can see, as you go along with this bar kind of gets filled out with a number of points. And on the right, you have a dashlet that's going to show you what percentage you are in completing this. Again, you can have as many of these as you'd like. So this is an implementation process, but you might have, a sales process that you want to track within Sugar. So here might be a sales process that you follow with the 9 steps of a sales process. Okay, so this, again, will give you some great reporting back as far as maybe where deals are stalling, what stages that they're stalling out at, so we can make the adjustments and improve on what we're doing. This also comes with some pretty cool home dashboards, where you can get this dashboard that shows you all of the projects or all the journeys that are currently running. And you can see exactly what template that it is. This is the new client implementation template. We're about 25% done with it. We're on the dev work stage, and the current activity is we're setting up hosting. So it just gives you a very high-level view of all the journeys that might be running within Sugar. Okay. Next is Hint, real quick. So Hint is another product with Sugar, where it's a relational database where it'll give you data back on your accounts, contacts, and leads. So here I just have an account Comcast up, and on the right within my Hint panel, it is giving me additional details about Comcast. You know, their annual revenue, SIC code, their Facebook profile, Comcast in the news that I might want to look at quick before I give them a call. You can take all this data about Comcast, hit that enrich button. It's going to add all of this data from Hint directly into that account record within the Hint panel here. Okay, so we will be able to pull reports on all of that Hint data, and it's an quick and easy way to fill out fields within your account record instead of sales reps adding that manually. You can also do this at the lead level and at the contact level. So if I was looking to add myself as a lead into Sugar, as soon as I add my name and my email address over on the right, it's going to pull back details about me. So I'm an account executive with a Sugar Global partner. I went to Shippensburg University in Pennsylvania. It's my previous job. Here's my Facebook profile. Here are details about Fay Business Systems Group. And again, you can just hit that enrich button, and it's going to add those details right to that record within Sugar. Okay. To jump along here, I know we're running out of time. Last thing I wanted to touch on was texting. So like I said earlier, emails are still very relevant within B2B, but sending text messages is becoming more popular. So someone provides their cell phone, sending them a text message directly within Sugar is very easy to do. So this is an instance that's hooked up to our texting app. So we partnered with Ytel to actually send the text messages and track all of that communication here within Sugar. So as a home dashboard, you can see all of the inbound and outbound messages. If I open up a contact record within Sugar, here's Eli Manning. If you have a mobile number here, you're going to see the text icon there. If you click on that, you're going to be able to type in your notes down here on what you want to text there. You can also select message templates. So you might have templates already set up within Sugar for sales that you have going on, or pricing updates, or just a happy holidays template, and it's going to drop their name into the text message, and you can send it out right from here. A pretty cool dashboard is available over here on the right. So it looks just like an iPhone, where you can see all of the back and forth text messages between Jeff Bickart in this case and Eli Manning. You can send MMS messages and pictures with this as well. Okay. Tons of other features with the texting here. You can send out group messages to a list right through the list view. So if I just selected a list of all of these contacts, I can send a message to them, just select a template, maybe a Halloween message, and I can send it out to all of them just at once. And this also works with workflow. So if someone signed up for maybe a webinar, you can send them a text message maybe 4 days before the webinar, 2 days before it, just as a reminder to them. Okay. So I went through a lot of that very quickly. So I know we have about 1 minute left here, so I'll stop there. Hopefully this was helpful for everyone. We are going to be running another one of these webinars at the end of next month that we'll be sending invites out for. But hopefully, these tips kind of get you thinking about, what we can be doing to get more out of Sugar. Maybe scheduling that monthly meeting, or having a meeting with your users to get the feedback, talking to other departments, and then also talking to your Sugar partner. And hopefully some of these additional features and products that Sugar has are just quick add-ons that I showed you. Could be really beneficial and just help you get more out of Sugar. So I'll stop there. Jesse, did we have any questions?
Yeah, I had a couple questions. One question on if they have the ability to use advanced workflows, where is that in Sugar? If you can show that again.
Yeah, so advanced workflow is only available within the enterprise edition of Sugar. So it is called the process definitions. So there's a couple modules here for it. You can create the email templates here. There's specific rules that can get very detailed that you can build off of it. There's the processes, which is where you can see all of the active process definitions running, and then process definitions here is where you would build out the actual process. So open up a process, and then you would just design this, and that's where you get to the open canvas here to build it out. Any other questions that we had, Jesse?
Great, thanks, Caleb. There was a question on just the add-on slide that we offer, and so one question was, are some of these or all of these paid add-ons, the integrations and add-ons we have? So maybe if you could kind of talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, and so I mean, the majority of these are going to be additional add-on costs. Some of them are very inexpensive, like the Box and Dropbox plugins are $600 a year. Authorize.net $600 a year. So these are all additional costs, annual costs to the Sugar licenses. The annual cost includes the support and getting it up and running as well.
Okay, great. Thanks, Caleb. Yeah, I mean, those are the only two questions right now. So if anything comes up after the presentation, feel free to let me know. Like Caleb said, so you may have seen it on some of the social channels right now. FABSG is Sugar CRM's Partner of the Week, and they are promoting our next version of this webinar next month. We'll be doing all new enhancements and tips and tricks in Sugar and how to get the most out of Sugar, so be on the lookout for that. You'll also get invites from me, of course, and we will process the recording and get you a copy of today's recording as well on the next day, so you can revisit some of this if you have any questions and want to take a deeper dive in anything that you saw today in our brief overview. We're happy to do that for you at any time. So thanks again for joining us, and Caleb, thanks again for presenting. Everyone have a great rest of your week, and we will be in touch.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.